We're live.
Hey, welcome everyone to the Oakland Poetry Slam. I am your illustrious host, Colin, and we have a kick-ass show for you today. But first, today's show is brought to you by our supporters from our generous patrons over on Patreon and viewers like you. This show, while super rewarding, still has to abide by the merciless rules of capitalism. Every contribution given to us helps RichOak Events plan and budget to ensure that we can continue to pay for feature artists, support local fledgling writers, and provide a space for the East Bay community to enjoy live art. So thank you to our patrons, in particular, Renee Edmonds, Stephanie Yaboa, Emily Chow, and Kalela Lee for being regular patrons. Thank you, Jessica Kosakik, for sponsoring our weekly workshops, and a special thanks to Alex Grimm and Rebecca Abraham for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Bluford Center. If you enjoy what you see tonight or just love the arts, head over to patreon.com/RichOak Events. You can sign up for different tiers of support. Any contribution you give helps us to meet our goals, pay our venues, and give back to our community. If this interests you, please head over to patreon.com/RichOak Events. But Colin, what if I don't have the financial stability to donate on a monthly basis, but still want to financially support you one time? I am so glad that some random high-pitched voice in the ether asked me that question. Because we also take donations via Cash App at hashtag RichOak Events or on Venmo at RichOak Slam. So head on over to Patreon, Cash App, or Venmo and drop a donation. Did I mention that it is tax deductible? Yes, 501c3. But no matter how you donate, it really helps us keep these events running and rolling for all of you to enjoy. So thank you so much for your support. And now that our PBS supporter announcement is over, we can get into this show. So a slam is a competition. And like any competition, there are a few rules. First off, for the poets, you have 3 minutes to share whatever you like with a 10-second grace period. After 3 minutes and your grace period of 10 seconds, points will be deducted by our scorekeeper, Prophet Lekeeper Discourse. After 4 minutes, you will be muted by Becky, our wonderful live streamer. Please, I'm begging you, don't go over 4 minutes. If you get muted, it will be really awkward. It will be embarrassing for you. It'll be embarrassing for the audience. It'll be embarrassing for the rest of the poets. Most importantly, it'll be embarrassing for me because I'll have to get up on stage and act like we didn't just cut you off in the middle of your poetry. But we have poets from across the country in different time zones, so we want to make sure that everybody gets to sleep at a reasonable hours. So please don't go over 4 minutes. Other than that, no props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment other than what you can make with your voice and body. No nudity. This is a family show. Keep it your pants until after hours and all of the cameras are off. But the top 3 poets move on to round 2. We have 4 poets performing tonight, so all 4 are going to move on to round 2 because I would feel like an asshole for cutting only one person. Alrighty, that is the rules for the poets. Next, rules for the judges. Judges will be scoring all the poets from a score of 0.0 to 10.0. A 0.0 is the worst piece of shit you have ever heard in your life. You would rather die than live in a world where that poetry still exists. And a 10.0 is the exact opposite. It is the best thing you have ever heard in your life. This did shit like cure cancer and erase your student debt like a certain someone said he was going to do. But the point being, there aren't many zeros, there aren't many tens. Score accordingly. We have this thing in slam, where as the night goes on, and you may or may not have one of these. No brand, no brand recognition without payment. But the more of these you have, the more poetry starts to sound better. Don't do that shit. Please, please, please stay as consistent as possible. To help you with that, we will have a sacrifice. Someone to calibrate you, they will go first. You will score them as if they're in the slam, and anybody you like after that go better, you score higher. Anybody you like who comes after less, score lower. But stay consistent. All right, and on to you, the audience. First, like, share, and subscribe to our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Oakland Slam. And also follow our YouTube page, Bay Poets Unite. So maybe some of the artists you see tonight have videos up on YouTube. It's a really great way to support Bay Area art. But also comment on the feed. Let these poets know how much you love their poems. Be even more enthusiastic than you would be in a slam in person, because we're really just screaming into the void out here. We need to know how you feel. And last but not least, we have freedom of speech. Poets will be coming up here and saying whatever the fuck they want, but freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability. So if someone says something fucked up, you can let them know respectfully in the comments. No being an asshole. You will very quickly get blocked. But we really do support healthy and polite conversations. So now that we have our rules, are y'all ready to hear who is in the slam? I heard like one nigga go, and that just. Are y'all ready to hear who's in the slam?
Hey.
Yes. Right now.
So much better. All right, poets will be reading in this order. I am sorry, poets. This was randomly generated. Poets will be reading in the order of Reggie, followed by Nicole Tracy, followed by Dawn, and ending the round off with Chardonnay. Give it up for everybody slamming tonight.
Woo!
So we have our rules. We have all of our rules. We have our poets. We have our audience. Are we ready to start the show?
Yeah.
Awesome. We are not. Because we still need our sacrifice. Someone to get you ready for poetry, to spill the blood. Everyone say, spill the blood.
Spill the blood.
Spill the blood now.
Sacrifice. So on deck is the first poet of the night, Reggie, but give maximum love to our sacrifice of the night, Colin. Woo!
Woo!
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You can find the good news tattooed in the stucco of every home. Find gospel and candle wax spilling over the sidewalk. I see God in every roadside vigil. Every balloon sent to the sky, a prayer. And maybe Big D was good enough for the Lazarus treatment. Maybe the whole hood is worth a resurrection. There's too many good folks dying in these streets for this just to be God's retribution. So I have to believe that all my niggas are in a better place. I have to believe that all my niggas were crucified like Savior and not thieves, that they died like Jesus, that there will be a second coming of gold chains and fake designer belts called the return of the Mac before Mac 10s burned down the block. I have to believe that every chalk outline was a miracle. Blood and bullet payment for safe passage to the promised land. Maybe the prodigal son is more than just a parable. Maybe death is the sinner's way of running back home. Maybe death is the sermon, and everyone in this neighborhood is a pastor, handing out holy hollow points to anyone who wants to meet the spirit. Call them strapped up shepherds, guiding their flock to the light. And they say the sun don't shine in the ghetto or a casket. So heaven must be our first son.
Oh my God.
Give it up for your sacrifice. Gang, gang,
That's
gang.
my
gang,
best friend.
gang.
That's my best friend. Go, best friend.
Judges, send your scores on in to our scorekeeper, Le Keeper de Scores. All right. So that was our sacrifice. We are officially ready to get into the show. So on deck, we have Nicole Tracy, but give maximum love to our first poet of the slam. Give it up for Reggie. Woo!
Yeah.
Let's go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I'm sad. Not like off myself depressed, but I do cry into margaritas that I know I won't finish. I get drunk at parties and dance alone until someone calls me gorgeous or a mess. I take 3 shots before throwing up in the bathroom and then smile because I'm losing weight this way. My hip bones sharp enough to become weapons. I am dangerous, addicting really. I'm so stunning, even my own blood has to leave the room for some fresh air. So hot, my own skin opened its legs for me. See how a wound can split open like 2 halves of a broken heart and still look sexy. I'm a riot at family gatherings. I scream half mad at my mother until my throat is raw and gushing out of my mouth. I curse the empty chair where a father could be. My brother can become any monster or savior I need in the moment, and somebody please pass me a blunt and a mood stabilizer because I need something to work up an appetite so the ghost of my grandmother stops following me around with pill bottles and chicken salad sandwiches. Did I mention that I see dead people? Every time I look into the mirror, I see my own rotting eyes staring back at me. I see other things as well, things that burn or cut or bruise the way I like it, scars or other small messages to the future self. You know, once I stood at the top of a very tall building and I imagined I could fly right off of it. I grew feathers and wings and my bones hollowed out until I became a weightless thing, an apparition of a bird. I was 2 steps from insanity before I came to my senses. I told you, I'm not that kind of depressed. I just flirt with the idea of guns or heights or other things I swear I am deathly afraid of. I swipe right on suicide and then ghost her after a couple messages because I'm a fuckboy. I stick my dick wherever it's welcome and I'm crazy, I know, but a warm body can be salvation when your heart is this cold. I have an iron deficiency. Isn't just an excuse I use to explain my icy fingers, but truth is, I haven't had a full meal in days. That's why I'm starving for touch. That's why I devour body after body. Call me a graveyard or the club on a real wild night when the music's loud and I can't hear the voices in my head screaming, you stupid fucking bitch. One day, I wanted to die. And then I popped 2 Adderall and tripped on shrooms all day. I'm really good at self-medicating. I'm really bad at loving myself. It's a secret I've kept for a very long time, but it is okay. You don't have to worry about me. I always put the knives to bed before I go. The gun is always unloaded. I have talked myself off of every ledge I have ever found myself teetering on. I'm not that kind of depressed, remember? Just a little sad on the weekends.
All right, now give it up for Reggie. Gang, 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 gang.
Hey.
Judges, send your list scores into Le Score Keeper, Le Keeper de Scores. All right, we already have poets up here asking for 10s. They're rare. They can be less rare, but they're rare. All right, and whew, our last poet got a score of a 24.8. So let them know how you feel.
That's fucking whack.
It's giving boo.
Here
Boo.
are the 10s.
We're all 10s.
I don't know how to process it's giving boo. All right, I'm gonna process that by moving on to the next poets. On deck, we have Don, but give maximum love to our next poet of the night. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm still spotlighted and it's super awkward. Please help.
It's stuck.
No, please.
Colin, we'll just do a ventriloquist act. I'll talk and you pretend to do my poem.
Feel like that's a prop foul, and the fact that I'm Black makes it even worse. Technical difficulties, y'all. And
Never
excuse
happened.
me if I say anything out of pocket. We are on Zoom, and I forget that y'all are here sometimes.
We can drop the spotlight and just okay. Oh.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
Ten things you should know by now. 1, the first boy will break your heart. So will the second and third and fourth. They will all try to make you into something easier for him. 2, only change for yourself. Go out dancing alone, and if your boyfriend makes a fit of it, go again. Go alone, go with friends, leave him at home. Just leave him. 3, don't be ashamed for what makes you happy. Trashy reality TV is everyone's guilty pleasure. You can like school and be smarter than your boyfriend. They should make light up sneakers in adult sizes too. 4, try everything new you can. Stringed instruments are harder to learn than woodwinds. Part of stand-up comedy is learning to fall on your face and still laugh. Painting is a mess, but very relaxing. Zumba and kickboxing are a great way to feel great. Don't worry, I'm sure learning to ride a bike is overrated anyways. 5, date yourself. Not in that self-discovery cliche way, but take yourself out to dinner, the movies, and your coffee shop. Stay up late and watch the sunrise. 6, do not go back to the first boy or the second or third or fourth. You cannot change him. He shouldn't change you. 7, go buy a vibrator. You love how your friend talks about hers and you want to find out for yourself. You're welcome. 8, when you get your period, it was not a betrayal. It was a natural part of growing up. You don't need to feel guilty for hating your body anymore. After all, you learned your body did not betray you for changing. 9, you were not selfish for leaving toxic people behind, even if they are your blood relatives, especially if they are your blood relatives. Learning to make the best decision for you is an invaluable lesson. 10, soon you will not wonder who you are because you know you are always becoming.
All right. Oh,
Goodness.
Let's fucking go.
gang.
It's giving
Judges,
game.
get your scores in. And as I'm waiting / faking like I'm waiting for the last poet's scores, I feel like there might have been inspiring things said tonight. And there may be people in the audience like, damn, I really wish I could write like that. And damn, you fucking can, because every third Tuesday on Zoom before the show at 7 p.m., we have a free writing workshop where we just get our ideas out on paper and have a space to collaborate with each other. It does not matter if you have written a million poems or if you have never put a pen to paper. Although you do need to know how to write, we will not teach you how like to hold a pencil and like do your ABCs and stuff. But if you can like form phrases and sentences, this is the place for you. All right, on deck, we have our last poet of the first round, Chardonnay. But coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love to, oh wait, last poet scores. Our last poet got a score of a 26.6. Woo, boo, Woo or boo, woo or boo.
It's giving boo.
And on that note, we will move on. Every time
Boo.
that is said, we will move on because on deck we have Chardonnay. But coming up to the stage, give maximum love to Don.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Woo!
giving the game.
Let's go.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
We hear you.
If there's one thing Black people like to do yearly, it's have a cookout, a barbecue, the yearly family seafood boil, where we eat fried chicken, macaroni, and cheese, eat potato salad only if my auntie makes, because you cannot have everybody's. At the barbecue, me and my cousins do the annual walk around the block, make sure none of the food goes to waste, and yet somebody always brings something that none of us can ever digest. The auntie, the uncle, the parent that we talk about in private. You have good table manners when they are at the dinner table as if they ain't touched a child. Made seasonings out of our baby's sexuality. Say that child is moving too fast as the rape and pressure cooked them into adulthood. But at the barbecue, all family is welcome because we treat this trauma like food. Swallow into our eyes, become bigger than our stomachs, and when it does, we tinfoil wrap the PTSD so none of it goes to waste because Black people are taught to never waste what is on their plate. Never make excuses about something that was an accident. Chuck the cornrow memories we hold on to so that the rapists of the family always gets an invite. Pass the now around like first servings. Children sit at the kiddie table, stay at a grown folks' business, ignoring all the signs on why everything should remain normal. At the barbecue, we start questioning why some of us don't come around anymore. Like how when we break generational curses as if we all become skinny. Not hungry enough to eat Big Mama's fried chicken because she said a family sticks together through thick and thin, yet she don't realize my appetite for what this family deserves has grown out of my arteries. The thing about family trauma, it is the reason why the food is so good, the reason why we raise children the same way we were. And when we start breaking aggression sounds like Thanksgiving clap back, barbecue beat down, say your mental health ain't worth tearing this family apart. Yet we treat children like ribs, let their mental health fall off the bone, serve with side of excuses and suicide attempts to ask God what we're wrong. If self-preservation be the reason why the barbecue stopped, don't let it be clogged arteries, the itis, high the cholesterol, let it be a sign that we won't tolerate trauma being caused and effect. Won't let our children be fed on at the barbecue like I have them call a child a birth because I don't ever want my babies to feel like I have me feeling medium rare, dripping with secrets that I may never know, like my mother who found out until it was too late to let the family know that they got the right one on the right day, talking about me as if I wasn't there when I was at the dinner table. Because we teach children to forget what happened to them instead of adults being held accountable for their actions. So fuck the barbecue. Yeah, we forgive like family do. Because blood is thicker than water until you drown.
Damn.
Give it up one more time for Dawn. Gang.
Yes.
Judges, send your scores to Le Keeper Discourse. And for reference, our last poet got a score of a 23.9. Let them know how you feel.
Boo.
Boo. It's giving boo.
Shit. Sounds like there's a mosh pit starting. Don't get too rowdy, audience. I'm not going to do anything to stop you, but don't get too rowdy. Remember, respectful conversations. All right, on deck, we have our second round. But coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love to the last poet of the slam. Give it up for Chardonnay. Woo.
Let's go, poet.
Yes, I love Chardonnay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We should hang out sometime. The time always falls flat, like my stomach was before I got pregnant. I am now the largest and the loneliest I've ever been. My friends fall away like everyone said the pregnancy weight would. Today, I cried for the friends I've lost or never had. I'm known for getting caught up in the potential of tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll reach out and not get left on red. Tomorrow, I'll go out and talk to someone besides my toddler's teacher. It feels good to cry over this. Alone time is so rare, it's not fair to be so lonely. My body so full of love and food for my child. There's no space here for me or anyone else. I try and think of a friend to call and see a void I never learned to fill. Space folding into time, echoing silence, a garden of pulled weeds and debris. Even the bugs have better places to be. I've never learned to make friends as myself. Only ask the mask I refuse to wear these days. A closet of caricatures of the pieces of my personality named palatable. When your loneliness isn't whole, you don't feel the hunger of solitude, just the inability to name your craving. I've never been good at knowing if the people I call friends call me friend. They tell other people they do. I don't trust any of them. Trust is a dangerous game. And my life is suddenly more valuable than the entertainment of Russian roulette. I build protection in layers and call it bulletproofing. I wait for the doorbell to ring, for the phone to ring, but some time keeps slipping through my hands like some water. And I'm so damn thirsty, and I continue to be watered down. No longer my name, I am toddler's mama. Mama becomes another mask I wear, but I don't know how to take it off. Alone time becomes time to tend to everything for everyone but myself. And I can't remember the last time someone wanted to talk to me without an agenda. I wonder if I would take my loneliness serious if I were unable to function. I wonder how much of myself I sacrifice in name of not needing support, and if that would change if I had it. Support these days looks like going somewhere to do something that doesn't center my kid, something that centers my independent needs and reminds me I am my own person, something that ends the way I've been silently suffering in solitude. Naming the things breaks my waters. They flood and spill over everything. When there is no denial, there is still loneliness. When I reach out for connection, there's still loneliness. When my baby calls for mama, there's still loneliness. Thank you.
Woo!
Right, give it up one more
Yes.
Chardonnay. Gang, 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 gang. And for reference, the last poet, Don, got a score of a 27.0. Give it up for the poet. Or, wow, y'all are super quiet about these scores this time. Has the audience finally been satiated?
Never.
I see. There will be more shenanigans to continue because we have a whole second round. We don't have a feature, so we're gonna just hop straight into the second round. No lube, just straight in. The second round will be in reverse order of appearance. So if you went last, you'll be going first. If you went first, you'll be going last. There's something in the Bible about that, but I don't read that book. So on deck, we have Don, but give maximum love for our first poet of the second round. Give one more round of applause for Chardonnay.
Woo!
Woo!
Oh my God, we get to
Let's
hear her
fucking
again.
go.
Double dose of dopeness.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great grandmother. I worked myself to the bones for this family, carved myself as a meal for them to feast on. This work is my DNA. Call it the cancer in my breast. My arms so swollen, I cannot lift my grandchildren, a mutation that grew from being too heavy-handed with my own kids. Like my cells, I divided myself until there wasn't enough of me for me or my oldest child, killed my husband for her, and when I die, she'll wonder if I ever loved her. Abuse knows many forms, and I'll never know that my best was never good enough. Grandmother. My mother stopped doing a damn thing for me when I was 12. Claimed she didn't realize I still needed a mother while I was helping her raise her kids. She killed my stepfather, her husband, but I took over his burdens, raised my siblings and their kids and my own, and nobody offered me any fucking help. I've been drinking this medicine since I was 3, and getting sober didn't do shit for me. I worked my ass off for this family and nobody gives a damn. Divided myself until there was any of me left for me. And if they ever find cancer in my body, I just hope the pain ends soon. My best hasn't been good enough, and I know it. Go to therapy just for them to vent to me, say I got that kind of energy. There is no space here for me to do better. Mother. I lost my mom at 11, and when I found her, I swore I'd never be like her. I only have one me, and I'll let everyone starve before I carve out my pieces like meat. Trauma rewrites your DNA, but this healing unravels the spell. If I divide myself until there is no me left for me, what will my children think of their own bodies? I spread myself like wings, and I am always at the center. And the truth is, if we give more than we receive, they'll take everything. I call God and ask her to forgive the mothers before me. Doing their best with what you have doesn't mean a damn thing when you have nothing.
All right, give it up one last. Judges, I need you to send your scores into Prophet. We're still waiting on someone to score the last poem too. So please, 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 please get your scores in. All right. So I did not inform you, audience, but the poets in this round are not just competing for fame. They are also competing for fortune. We have $50 for the winner of this slam. So this is the money round, the time to go extra hard. I have scores. Our last poet got a score of a 25.3. Let them know how you feel.
It's giving boo.
All right, moving on. All right, a 25.4 because light-skinned niggas can't do math. Oh, I have to talk shit about Prophet at least one rip per show. But thank you for doing math. Mistakes happen. So correction, last poet got a score of a 25.4. All right, moving right along on deck. We have Nicole Tracy becoming up to the stage. Give one more round of applause for Dawn.
Woo. Go poet.
I'm talking to my older sisters about our grandmother. I voice that grandma wasn't Indian because growing up, Black people often injected nationalities into their skin to be something they weren't. So I say, I took an ancestry test in college. The results read 60% African and 30% white. Figured the white came from one of the slave masters raping one of my great grandmothers. They say no. Grandpa was white. Have you ever heard the sound of a secret? Earthquake, knocking over everything you made yourself to be. And the more we talk, the more of a stereotype we become. How we hoard secrets until loose lips are released from messy aunts or drunk uncles or sisters who say you never asked. And my father, mad at my grandfather for being a deadbeat, refused to tell us about our family tree. Now I'm left experiencing this identity crisis, angry, but being left to figure this shit out on my own. So I guess I followed in my father's footsteps. I'm not mad about the right, but how Black Americans must fight for a piece of identity. Search for something that makes us Black feel less stolen, more purposeful, that although we have overcome the impossible, doesn't mean that's enough to satisfy my hunger for home. How we call ourselves African American, with the African hundreds of years removed, is to have memory loss in our veins. So we wear the clothes to jumpstart our identity. Pray appropriation doesn't leak from our skin. Question: am I allowed to wear kente if all I have is a DNA test to prove it? No last name connected my ancestry, just Jackson, origins Northern Ireland, last name held by Andrew Jackson. Owner of more than 200 slaves, given his last name to be identified as property or taken by slaves hoping to reunite with families. So my last name cries out for a home that doesn't beat trauma, yet still continues to beg for acceptance. I'm not mad about who I am. I just have this obsession with who I could have been, and ain't that something? To feel foreign in your own lineage, and when you're a Black American whose home once you dead or enslaved, you take DNA tests to relax the abandonment, and after all of that, I look back at the test and see 10% Indian. I guess they were right.
Woo.
Woo!
It's giving woo.
Give it up for the poet. Gang, 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 gang. And we are still waiting on scores from our last poet. Prophet, do you have those scores for me? Scores. How many of us have them? Scores. Ones we can depend on, and we have them here at the Oakland Slam because the last poet got a score of a 25.7. Let them know how
It's giving boo.
every time you say that, I'm gonna say the exact same thing. Moving right along.
So messed up.
On deck, we have our last poet of the slam, Reggie, but give maximum love to our penultimate poet, which niggas who read tell me means second to last. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Yay! Good word, yay!
We can hear you.
We hear you.
I do not know if I wish you a curse or a blessing of mediocrity, but I know that I do not wish ill of you any longer. But I hope the next person you love does not get to know you in the form of drunk confessions, holding your darkest secrets, unsure how to move forward. I hope they make the best decision for themselves, though. I hope you still feel the sting of guilt for everything you did wrong, but I hope you do not make the same mistakes again. I hope you remember every wrong decision you made with us. I hope you think of me just often enough. It is always a surprise coupled with ache. I hope some days it is overwhelming and you spend the whole day repeating, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I hope you write me messages but never hit send. Because you know I have lost your number, moved on, and assume I am happier now. I hope you end up with someone too. And I hope you are mostly content with them, but antsy enough because you know one of you settled. You should know I did not settle. I wake up every morning and smile because of the person next to me. I love everything about him, even his morning breath. I never loved your morning breath. I have grown up, and I hope you have too. I hope you've grown up for yourself, not for someone else this time. Learn to trust the person you are with. Learn to let go instead of threatening the other person into holding on. I hope you apologize with your words, not your fists. Otherwise, I hope you end up alone. I would not wish the worst of you on anyone.
Gang, 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 gang.
One more time for Nicole Tracy. Gang, 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 gang.
It's giving gang.
Almost moved her on right there. But you know, I got shit I have to say. So we are still waiting on scores from our last poet. But we are almost done. Thank y'all for rocking out with us tonight. So far. It's been a really, really smooth, silky poetry night, and it's almost at an end because on deck, oh wait, we have our scores. Yay! Our last poet, Don, got a score of a 27.2. Let them know how you feel. What is it giving y'all?
I'll
Okay.
allow it. They should be higher, but I'll allow it.
I haven't, okay. It looks like I can just like roll into my shit the way I normally would instead of having to move on from some guests.
It's giving boo.
Oh my God. So on deck we have finding out who wins this money and going to bed, I guess, because we're already home. But coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love to your last poet of the night. Give it up for Reggie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear shit. I'm joking. We can hear you.
A necklace can be a noose, just like a wallet can be a gun, or a child can be tried as an adult, or a mother can be considered strong for burying her only son. Too many terrible things just start to make sense when you stop believing that something better is possible. So here is a list of truly impossible futures. 1. The gun is a rose, the bullets are just thorns, and though a child still bleeds, the street lights bring him home instead of just his memory. His mother is only short of breath and teary-eyed when she laughs. 2. The same places we die in keep us alive so we can forgive each other, and forgiveness does not forget, but instead we all move a little more carefully in the next interaction. 3. This time the gun is still a gun, but it is only a family heirloom or a reminder of the violence that made us. And it sits in the back of the closet and gathers dust lonely and untouched. 4. We unravel into our children until they can become vulnerable again. A Black boy cries and I pour him out a small ocean. 5. Strength is given to the weary. We endure into a celebration. We are loved red and gold. We are halos no one had to die for. A praise song for the femme Black boys with long hair and diamonds for eyes. Praise the lipstick that don't smudge in a fight. Praise the nail that don't break, the cloth that don't rip. Jesus be a secure bobby pin and medium strength edge control, a lock twist and winged liner, trimmed beard and rose cheek highlight. God is a butch femme queen, got starlight for hair and glitter for eyes. And if we do not name ourselves God, then what will America call us if not death? Somewhere between loving this country and trying to convince it not to kill me, I started wearing clothes that I wanted to be buried in. A bloody t-shirt, ripped jeans, braided rope, an apology. But I must christen myself alive because there are people that are depending on me now. So I wear things that can grow me into a garden. I drape myself in fabrics cut from rose petals. Daisies crown me angelic on the best days. I dagger blades of grass into my hair until someone sings, flower boy, flower god, where did you go? I need a bouquet for a wedding. I need a wreath for a funeral. I will marry this country. I will die in its mouth. I trust you to make me pretty when I go.
Ooh, give it up for our last poet of the night, gang,
Woo,
gang.
woo, 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 woo.
Yes, you have been so great tonight, but for the last time, I need you to send your scores into our scorekeeper. And for reference, our last poet got a score of a 24.0. Let them know how you feel.
Woo!
All right.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I'm just making fun of y'all niggas. All right. We are still waiting for scores to be tabulated. But while they are tabulated, I have some announcements. We are not the only show in the Bay Area. Of course, there's us, the Oakland Poetry Slam, every third Tuesday right here on the internet. But there's also the Berkeley Poetry Slam every single Wednesday at the Starry Plow in Berkeley. Hey, Wednesday's tomorrow. Why, yes, it is Disembodied Voice, who's definitely isn't me. So if you're in the Berkeley, Oakland Bay, East Bay area, come on out to the Starry Plow. It's a really fun night. There's also a free workshop before that show at 7 o'clock on the stage. Show starts at 8:30. Check out the Berkeley Poetry Slam on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter for more information. There's also the RichOak Alchemy Open Mic every first and third Saturday on Instagram Live. Check them out at RichOak Alchemy. There's also the San Jose Poetry Slam every second Sunday. Is that right? Second Sunday?
I think so.
I'm gonna go with second Sunday. Every second.
Yes, I believe they moved the
Yeah.
slam this month though to the last Sunday of the month.
Okay, so they might. So it looks like they moved the slam
No,
from
let me double check.
San Jose Poetry Slam on all social media for more information. They also just got a new venue, so I'm not sure exactly where they're at right now. But they're doing big shit and holding it down for the South Bay. So if you're in that area and can't make it up to Berkeley Slam, definitely check out the San Jose Poetry Slam. And I have my scores.
Oh, Colin. So it is in person every second Saturday, but every last Sunday, it's virtual.
Every second Saturday?
It's not in person, but every last Saturday, Sunday, it is in person.
All right, so every second Sunday they are in person, and every last Sunday they're virtual? Interesting. I like that. Holding it down for y'all. So check out both their in-person and their virtual show. But we have scores. We know who won. So I'm going, wow. So I'm going to announce that our scores, but first I need a very miniature drum roll. Because in third place with a score of a 51.1, give it up for Chardonnay.
Yeah, Chardonnay.
Speech. Anything to say to the crowd as well?
I do not have anything to say. Thank you.
That gave like massive Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Bye. All right. Thank you so much, Chardonnay, for performing tonight. I hope you have a wonderful night. And I need a slightly larger drum roll. Where is my backup drummers? Because in second place with a score of a 54.0, up Reggie. Speech.
Thank you. You're all like really talented people. Yeah. I'm sorry, I took a fat ass dab before like I got here, so like I need to go die. Bye.
All right, don't do drugs, okay? All right, I need a much larger drum roll because these scores were close, y'all. In first place with a score of a 54.2, which is 0.2 higher than second place. Give it up to your winner, winning $50. Give maximum love to Dawn.
Woo! Thank y'all. This place is always great to come. I always see it when I'm like, I need $50. So that's why I like and I don't always get it, but when I really need it, I do get it. And I really needed it. So thank y'all. Y'all all talented and great.
Thank you so much for gracing our stage, Don. And thank you so much to Reggie and Chardonnay and Nicole. Thank you so much to Tino for managing our bout and making sure we had everything scheduled, everything good to go. Thank you.
I was on Profit today, actually.
Oh,
Thank
Profit scorekeeped and bout
Yeah.
managed?
I had a very long day and I like kind of just dumped my responsibilities on Profit earlier today. So like, do not thank me, thank Profit.
Thank you. Well, I don't want to give Profit too much credit, but thank you. Thank you so much to Duty in scorekeeping and managing our bout. Thank you to all of our judges for having the hardest job and having to judge all of our poetry. Thank you so much to Becky for live streaming to make sure that all of you at home can see us. And speaking of all of you, thank you to every single one of you who tuned in tonight and everyone who watches us on our YouTube channel when this posts. Thank you for being with us, because without y'all, we are just some wild ass motherfuckers screaming into the void. And you know, even with y'all, we're wild ass motherfuckers screaming into the void, but we're wild ass motherfuckers screaming into the void with an audience, and that makes a difference. Go out there and make a difference. I have been Colin. This has been the Oakland Poetry Slam, and we will see you